talk about the Joey Swoll scam. And the reason I brought this up is after I did the last video on Joey Swoll, I was extremely disappointed, though I should have expected it by a lot of his fans. When I allowed commenting on, if anyone agreed with me on the video, which plenty did and plenty didn't, which is fair, but if anyone agreed with me, there was, well, here's some of the stuff. I should have really screenshotted and put, but Joey Swoll fans threatened sexual assaults on women who agreed with me. They threatened animals. They, They called people paedophiles, and they made loads of silly comments, proper comments, saying they'll troll people offline, they'll make people kill themselves. So this really shocked me because, you know, you're supposed to be, Joey Swoll's supposed to be this body positivity guy, and we all know he's a load of shit. And the reason I started this with a Joey Swoll scam is if you simply type in Google Joey Swoll scam, you'll see in 2015, 2016, these are facts. I don't care about your sad little feelings. He scammed over $2 million. The facts online, he's admitted to it, with a team who was working on supplements. How did they scam? Well, basically, say he was paying for creatine. There was no creatine in the supplements. Say he was paying for branched chain, they were just flavourings. So he was selling bunk products. Now, I'm not saying he hasn't changed his life around since then. Everyone deserves a second chance. You know, maybe he completely has. What I'm saying is, he's obviously a marketer. You know, he markets himself. That was his job. He's a great marketer. And that's why he does this gimmick. But I think he's caused a lot of trouble to some people who don't deserve it. A lot of people do deserve what he does. I'd say probably about 7 or 8 out of every 10 videos I agree with. I think his catchphrase is stupid and shows how most people follow him as sheep. Mind your own business, do better, when he's talking about people in other countries, other states. So it doesn't really make sense, but it's just part of his marketing team. And he's, you know, he's trying to get you guys to relate to him. And most people who relate to Joey Swoll are not serious lifters. Most people who relate to Joey Swoll aren't really successful. I'm just being truthful. And he's trying to do it with the average guy who's overweight and is failing because he can't stick to a diet or put the effort in. He doesn't want the guy who's like overweight and going to lose 40, 50 pounds and change his life around, or the woman who is. He's targeting a market of people who are millennials, self-entitled, no intelligence, a job bigger than the NHS wouldn't be better for them. You know, he's trying to target these individuals, and that's perfectly fine. But what made me laugh is when people say, "Oh, there's a Joey Swoll scam. You can check yourself. He did facts. He's robbed people. This is facts. It's facts. You know, you can look it on yourself. Go on Google." Now, the thing that unimpressed me the other way was when I did the post. I had people threatening because they love Joey so much, but I had people threatening because they hate Joey. So one of the messages I got was about was from a female. I had a few of these, and you'll see them online if you just type Joey Swoll scam Reddit. You'll see people saying it. Now, I don't personally believe these. I believe he deserved these. And one of the first messages I got was from a female saying, "Oh, blah, 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 Joey Swoll exposed himself. He used to show me his penis all the time. You know, she was like, the female is not attractive." And I said, "Okay. So what, you sent you an unsolicited dick pic?" She goes, yeah. I said, "Okay, you screenshotted this, yeah?" She goes, "No." I said, "Have you got any of the messages of you telling me you're not interested in him sexually harassing you?" And she's like, "No." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm not really going to put this online because you've messaged me with something that there's no proof." She goes, "Well, my word should be proof." Well, no, it shouldn't be. There's literally no evidence. And when you do a bit of a view online, you'll see about 12 or 15 girls spreading that he's exposed himself to them, that he's a sex offender, all these stuff. I don't believe any of them parts are true, simply because there's literally no facts. The girls saying it tend to be, I don't mean to be nasty, but they're unattractive. They're not girls you'd go and... Now, that's not to say that someone can't be a weird little pervert. I just don't think he is. I think he's a scammer at one point, and now he's moved away from that and created a great marketing technique where he makes money off little trolls and little failures to succeed in life, which I don't blame him for at the end of the day. But I don't think the sexual things said about him when you view him online are true because there's simply no evidence. It's like a lot of people go, he lies about using steroids and blah, blah, he claims to be natty. Every video I've seen of him, he said, "I've never denied using steroids." He pretty much admits to using steroids. In fact, he does. I've seen him admit to using steroids. Now, loads of people say, "Oh, there's videos that I've never seen any of these videos. No one could link me to them." So again, I think that's all lies. I'd say, as a person, he's created a gimmick and he's making money off a set of, I don't want to say special people, but people who buy into your product. It's kind of like when your daughter's queuing up to go see Beyonce or something and they're spending all their money on her, or they've got that crush when they're 11. That's what people who follow Joey are. They're never going to look good, they're never going to succeed, but he's going to milk them in the money. And because, you know, he's a good-looking guy giving ugly trolls attention, they're quite happy with it. But, yeah, obviously, anyway, to educate yourselves, before you do any comments, literally go on Google and type in Joey Swoll scam. It happened 2015, 2016. And then tell me from there, do you really think he's a good person? Has he changed? He did scam people. He knowingly took people's money. He did a bad thing. Again, people can change. Personally, I think he's scamming people now in just a more intelligent manner and way, but, you know, that's just my belief. And if you start putting comments here saying how you're going to knock people offline and all this, it just shows that you're the little sad trolls, like I said.